Hi, my name is Cliff Bassman with Quantum Technology, and welcome to a quick video presenting our signature approach to data center decommissioning. Quantum is family owned and operated. We've been in equipment resale and recycling for more than 30 years, since being founded by Dan Scheinfield in 1994. We've helped pioneer data center decommissioning with hundreds of projects nationwide under our belts of all sizes and degrees of complexity. And as data centers have continued to evolve, so have we, refining our business model and our technical services to maximize the value we provide to clients. This is the quantum technology data center decommissioning and asset recovery flow chart. We established this flow chart for training purposes and to continually refine our internal process by breaking down each step into its component parts. We also use this to share with partners exactly what it takes to complete projects successfully. The top half, in red in particular, represents the investment Quantum makes on all projects just to prepare a proposal. The initial project briefing is a collaborative session to establish a high level of understanding about lease end requirements, project timeline, property location, access and egress constraints, the equipment overview, any specialists that may be required to fill out the team, and Quantum's optimal role in the mix. If you have one or more data centers scheduled for decommission in the next 12 to 24 months, feel free to schedule your initial project briefing as soon as possible. Except for certain straightforward equipment removal projects and properties where a video tour will suffice, we'll conduct an in-person site inspection. That's our opportunity to do an extensive photo shoot and gather critical equipment data that will be the basis for our equipment inventory and value analysis. This could include such considerations as the equipment was originally installed before the building walls were erected, and the decommission may require targeted demolition and possible restoration of doors and walls. Or the HVAC units may have to be cut up to be removed, which renders them unsellable and destined for scrap. Our field inspection team brings this information back to the project managers, who are charged with creating a custom proposal for each client. Images and specifications gathered during site inspection are entered into our system for project managers to establish the equipment master list. They can then start determining detailed equipment disconnection procedures, removal sequence and timing, and transportation assets we'll be needing on site. This all serves as the basis for equipment value analysis, as well as scope and labor costs. The equipment value analysis entails in-depth research to match each piece of equipment and other infrastructure being harvested with its unique path to asset recovery. Does it get resold, recycled, or repurposed? What is the specific positive or negative value stream each item creates? This is where the cumulative revenue and profitability of the project takes shape, which of course directly affects our proposal. Customer and property needs analysis is our catch-all for any nuances specific to the particular property or situation. Are there special clauses in your current tenant lease that need to be accommodated? Do you have ideas about how you want to show or repurpose the space? Are there live tenants in the building we must work around? Do we need to work solely in the evenings or overnight? Are you working on a tight deadline to turn the property around? How can our work on the premises support these special situations? Scope and costing is where we start to formalize the best path forward to meet your objectives. Options for Quantum participation range from serving as general contractor, overseeing and managing the entire process, to serving as specialists in the mechanical services related to disconnection, removal, and transport of equipment. To what extent are third-party contractors required for electrical service or life safety systems? Is there large-scale or targeted demolition required? Once we assemble these components, we can obtain quotes and make commitments for each of them. This all gets integrated with the findings from the equipment value analysis and rolls up into our custom proposal. That was the planning phase of our work. Looking back at the flowchart, the yellow and blue areas represent project implementation. If you're watching this presentation, you either manage a data center or are otherwise involved in the operations of one. So you know that a lot goes into the upkeep of a data center, aside from the servers and networking gear. We arrive on the scene with a clear emphasis on identifying and enacting all safety protocols and ensuring full facility protection. If there are existing on-site contractors, we work closely with them to make sure all goes smoothly. When there is a fire suppression system in place, we can deactivate and remove the suppression tanks and power down the fire panels. Sometimes the owner requires that a sprinkler system be installed after removal of the specialized data center fire protection, in which case we'll work with a third party to ensure it happens properly. Before touching any equipment, we of course ensure that all electrical safe off and lockout procedures have been followed. Sometimes the owner or previous tenant takes care of this, and when required, we will bring in our own electricians to complete the electrical shutdown. Of course, we test all equipment one final time prior to removing, and when electrical service needs to be rewired in order to accommodate the facility, we can provide that service as well. If permits are required, we will discuss this with the owner and determine which party will take care of applying for and acquiring the permits. We can do this, or sometimes the building owner already has this underway. Our crew members have the skills and the training to drain any refrigerant, including freon, glycol, and cooled water systems, and will safely and methodically remove any wet cell or lead acid batteries. All of these components will be recycled, and when requested, we can produce a certificate of recycling. Before arriving on site, we will have already identified what equipment we will need for all required decommissioning and demolition services. On day one, we'll arrive with our OSHA R2 and ISO certified crews, our foreman, a site-specific project manager, and vice president of project management. All personnel will complete a walkthrough of the facility and a briefing of all tasks that need to be done. Each morning, our on-site project manager will guide the crew through a safety meeting, pre-work stretches, and preparation for the day. We will have our forklifts ready, cranes scheduled, and all necessary packing materials and on-site tools ready to go. Our demolition capabilities include, but are not limited to, removing partition walls, drop ceilings, removing conduit, breaking down concrete pads, and more. Of course, the primary focus of our on-site work is the disconnection and removal of generators, transformers, chillers, cooling towers, UPS systems, batteries, and moving them through the building to the exterior. All recyclable materials are hauled to the recycling partners straight from the site. All other equipment is packed, loaded onto our trucks, and shipped back to our 200,000 square foot warehouse in Pennsylvania, where it will be slated for resale and repurposing. That leaves us with the final deliverable, a commercial space in broom swept condition, and a final walkthrough with the project owner on the client side to indicate approval of the work we've performed. Thank you for watching this presentation. Hope it was informative. Please forward any questions you may have to any one of us listed here. And again, I encourage you to schedule an initial project briefing with our team if you have data centers scheduled for decommissioning in the next 12 to 24 months. Thanks again.